Hi, loves. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for being here. I greatly appreciate you. Okay, the day has progressed and the energies have gotten heavy. I feel them. So I wanted to throw some cards and see what was going on here. So this is kind of what I feel is happening. If you're feeling the energies, these things maybe it's there's an apprehension in the air is what I feel like. Something is just looming, and I think our triggers are being pushed, and rugs are being pulled out. It just seems like a chaotic event, right? But what I think is happening here are ironically new doors, new ways are presenting themselves, and they are showing up in a lot of chaos, a lot of dishevelment, a lot of uncertainty. It's rattling a lot of internal things, right? Bringing up old ghosts from the past, old fears, not knowing how to progress, not wanting to circle the bend again. Do I want this? Do I not want this? These kind of things are what I feel is coming up. So these energies, while they look like they're at odds with each other, they actually may be the door for you, right? Tradition in the realm of everything going on here. Stick to your high values, stick to the things that you believe, stick to the things that are important to you. These are all very important. And if you notice, we have the Hierophant twice. Okay, so the Tower card with the Hierophant is already just saying that something significant is most likely coming down the pike, right? And we can meet this sometimes here with compassion and patience and wait for the storm to pass and realize that certain things are outside of our control. And while we're observing what's going on with our point of view, which is our eyeballs, not our brain, it opens up new worlds to us. And I think we might be able to see something different in a different way, right? I think that this will have a good turnout. And I think that it opens new ways for you to see yourself and new ways of engaging with yourself. For some of you, this is going to play out in relationships. So let me hit that arena first, okay? I think that there are patterns here that need to be addressed, right? Things that, if you're dating someone and this is a new relationship and you're wondering, like, I want to get to know this person better and the pace is off or the tempo seems off, or you think that this person isn't interested in you, I think one of the parties in here may not be over something from the past or may not want to repeat past patterns. So it's not that they're not interested, they're very interested. They're just not looking for something quick. If this is a new relationship, in here, the person is looking for something long time. They're not looking to go anywhere. So there's no rush here. Let this play out at maybe a different tempo than you're used to, right? But there are things here that you'll want to deal with, right? Like really asking yourself deeper questions. The people that I'm attracted to, is it surface level or do these people really have depth to them? Because I think that something that comes through here in a relationship may open up doors for you. What seems like an obstacle on the inbound may actually be the foundation, a new foundation here, right? That opens up different forms of communication. I think that one of the parties in here is steeped in tradition. They will want to talk to someone about this relationship, right? About something that's going on here. But if you want something to grow roots and you're looking for a substantial relationship, you've got to be patient. Because this is longevity, this is foresight, this is growing roots, this is something that will have value. It's something that if you work through things, right, like whatever kind of disruption that's coming up here, if you realize that your defenses don't instantly have to go up, because there could be a trigger that comes in here, right? We automatically assume that our guard goes up when someone says something, or oh, here comes the other shoe, or something's going to drop. This is a new relationship. It's something different. It's not anything from the past. So you need to work on where your triggers are coming from and how valid they are. Because I don't think in here, I think that if in this case, this particular case in this relationship, if you were to pace yourself and go slow and get to know each other better and let things form at a different tempo, you would learn things about each other and it could grow legs. For some of you in here, I think that there is a way of communicating here that is, try to be conscious of how much space you're taking up in this relationship. By that I mean, how involved is the other person? How involved are you? Don't make the entire conversations all the time. Don't make everything about yourself. Or is the other person doing that? Right? You're kind of going to have to balance that tempo as well. Because I think in here, some parts of this may be, people not knowing each other well enough, where we're forming opinions of someone else instead of going slow and realizing, this is what this really means. This person is just not really open about their emotions. They don't really know how to say something because they're afraid of being hurt, or they're afraid of being seen as weak, or what goes on in the mind here may be that it's not as bad as it seems. If you actually tell someone how you're feeling, if you actually show them, I'm worried about something, or this doesn't seem right to me, or you open up about something, actually communicate about something in a way that, you're able to start something here. Go slow, have courage. Sometimes relationships take on a life from their own and they need a little bit more than courage, right? So just don't assume that difficult things aren't easily solved. If you stick together, or you stick this out with someone, the relationship might not end well, but you will learn something priceless about yourself. And then maybe this is a warm-up for a relationship coming down the pike, or maybe this is the relationship that needed to go a little bit deeper in communication, that maybe it was time to cross that bridge where you needed to say something like, hey, this, you don't really seem that interested, or, you have a deeper communication, right? I truly think here that if you believe that you want this to work out, the opportunity is here. If you don't believe it will work out, the obstacles are going to appear, right? If you want to create more meaningful relationships in your life, this person does. And this person is looking at a relationship here, and they're not going anywhere. They're wanting something long term, and that's what they're looking at. And they're not going to rush this. They're going to grow this so it's got longevity, so that it has meaning. But there are old hurts here. We're people. We're alive. We have life under our wings. But you have to realize that there's something here that needs to be dealt with. So there may be a conversation here where someone just might not be over something from the past. And it doesn't mean that they're not over the person. It just means there's a hurt here that needs to be healed, because something hits a trigger here. And just because this relationship, or you say something to someone and, it's just you saying, hey, look, this isn't really okay with me, or this is something, they're going to be triggered by something. So just have the conversation. We don't need to be screaming and have someone's jugular in our hand to get our point across. You know what I'm saying? Have a little bit more confidence in yourself. Have a little bit more courage. Show up like that, right? True bonds are built over time and through experiences here, like this kind of thing, right? They're rooted in things that have authenticity rather than superficial things, right? Is this, something that you want long term? Maybe you don't, and maybe this other person does. You know what I mean? So it's getting these things out on the table here. These play out in social structures as well. That was what I had on relationship arenas here. In social structures here, something could open up for you where you're going to need to step outside of your boundaries and have some courage in yourself and realize that, yeah, this may be a scenario here that you need to up your skill set on. But there's something unique in this situation here that you're being asked to explore. Yes, other people do this. Yes, this has been done before, but you haven't done it, and you have a way of doing things, right? This is also engaging with people in different ways. Don't be so set in your ways that you're not able to open up to other people, working in groups, seeing other perspectives, being tolerant of other things. It can mean, yes, I believe in these things, and these things should not be compromised on. These are, internal things within yourself, but someone else may have something to offer, some other way of doing something, right, that you haven't thought of. And triggers here are, I'm not good enough. That's not the case. It's a different way of communicating. It's going slower. This may be open an opportunity for you that you didn't think would ever be available to you. This is also realizing that not everything out of the gate, most things out of the gate are not going to come at Mach speed. They need time to grow. They need time to be nourished. Where are you going? Check in with yourself. Is this where I want to go? Right? This is also things, how do I do with delays? Three of Swords is a massive delay card. So maybe it's divine timing. It's saying we got to go a little bit slower here. We need to learn a little bit more. We need to trust in ourselves. We need to trust in the process. And we need to be, we need to have our desires on a leash. We need to fortify them to get them to go in a certain direction. Instead of every time something goes wrong, we go out of dodge, or we don't think we're good enough, or we go into old patterns here. We're designing a new life for ourselves that has longevity here. It's long distance. It's not short term. You're aligning your life for a good future, a solid future. But those aren't done with inconsistent things. They're done with things that take time and patience and realizing where I've got triggers that I'm working through. And it doesn't mean you judge them. It just, they were there for a reason, but they're not serving a purpose now. This is where sometimes this Tower card blows something out of the water that's long outlived. And instead of trying to keep being enthusiastic or chipping away or self-help things, instead of realizing that I don't always need to think that I need to up my game. I need to just work on myself as I'm doing and pull my life forward. I can let things go from the past, right? This is the other thing. Sometimes we hang on to things long past their expiration date, and they're not supposed to be fixed. They're supposed to be let go, and that's the doorway forward, right? And that's kind of what I've got here. I think that inner peace and harmony is what you're looking for here, but it's going to need to show up through a tangible external way of doing something in life. This is a 7, and it's the result card. 7 is the card of spirit, which means how you're doing something needs to be on the straight and narrow. And you need to work away with it, and you need to have a vision with it, and you need to stick with it, and you need to not easily be distracted, right? Running from here, there, and everywhere. You need to put your nose to the grindstone, be kind with yourself, be kind with the people around you, maybe work in a different arena, work in a different environment, see things different, realize that even old dogs can learn new tricks. How I do something may not be working for me anymore. I need to be open to realize that other people have different ways of doing things, and I can learn a few things here, right? And that's the value in this is what I've got. You're creating more meaningful relationships in your life, more things that are grounded in longevity, harmony, health, wealth, well-being. These also come under the umbrella here of health regimens, mental, emotional stability, right? This is a card right here that you've got to have strength and courage, but you've also got to realize that life doesn't always revolve around you. You know what I mean? The 8 of Coins can very easily get absorbed in what they're doing, where they've got like tunnel vision and they're neglecting every other part of their life. If you've got relationships in your life and you're a workaholic, you need to maybe check in with the people around you. And that's what I'm saying. Realize what space you take up in a relationship. Are you there or are you never there? Or is it all about you and you're not, looking at the other people in your life? Something significant will come in, because the Tower card coming in here with the Strength card is already saying, I need to evaluate something, and this is going to take courage inside. It's going to take courage to change something, right? It's going to take courage to see something different. It's going to take courage to come up against chaos in a different way, right? With a little bit of compassion this time. And this is quiet compassion. This card is not screaming from the roof. It's internal. I've got my desires and I've got myself on a leash here, and I'm going to harness what I'm doing to pull something ahead in my life so it's got some longevity, so that it's not going anywhere, that the relationships that I'm in have a foundation and they're on solid ground. And when there are ups and downs, I know it's not going to crash and burn and I'm not going to take off. The person isn't going to take off, right? Again, this is triggers. So be kind to yourself, be kind to other people, because I think in here too, other people may be on different wavelengths, like really seeing each other or things playing out, but not underneath. If you just had a conversation, things would very easily be resolved, that what you're seeing is not really what's going on inside. Inside, I'm scared to death to tell you something because I'm afraid maybe you'll leave. Maybe my heart will get broken. Maybe you'll take off. Or these are old ingrained things. They can also be things that we become very, very compulsive about, right? So it's these kind of things too. It can be compulsions about the little things when the big things are what matter. It's not the little things, right? You're getting lost in the weeds of the details when the bigger picture is what you should be looking at here. In this case, I think that there is a difficulty coming up here, but I don't think that in this instance it's going to blow your life out of the water. I think that it's trying to show you something here about yourself. Maybe you're in something that's long outgrown that you're still trying to fix when it's done, and you're praying, just show me a way, show me how to fix this, when in fact it's not fixable. It's put the period at the end and go a different way, whatever that is. These are internal things that need to be solved first. So if you look at this, and people will look at these cards and think these are external kind of things, these usually are things that are happening inside first, right? This definitely, and it's the doorway, is absolutely inside of us. I'm going to get out of here because I feel the heat coming. I feel it, and I know that this person's going to reject me. So I'm going to get out of Dodge before they are done with me or before they eat me alive. But that's not at all what's happening here. If you want stronger structures in your life, you've got to be flexible. You've got to stick true to the things that are, sound to you. But what are your things, right? Because this is maturity. This is saying, look, this isn't okay with me. Look, I really do care about this. Look, I'm going to work away at this. Yes, I can listen. Yes, I'm an old dog, but I can learn new tricks. It's these kind of things, right? We all have triggers, and they're going to come up, and they're coming up to be dealt with because they're old, right? They're outlived. They're holding you back. This is a freedom run. The Tower card usually shows up when we backed ourselves into a corner and we feel like we have no way out. You're getting shown a calm, collected way out. Where if you want something to grow, you've got to be organized about it. And you've got to stick with it. And you've got to chip away with it. And you've got to go slow. Because something is going to present itself here for you that's going to get you over this hump. The Three of Swords is delays. What do I do when there's a delay? Do I leave something? Do I leave a project? Do I leave a relationship? No. You stick with it. You chip away with it. It grows some legs. It's got stability. There's your new foundation, and you're solid as a rock. And that's what's happening here. So I hope that I helped you in some way. Okay, these energies are tough. They're not going to be easy, but just they're showing you something better. So just take a deep breath, trust in yourself, trust in the universe. You're not doing this alone. And just ask for guidance. Show me a direct path. Show me my lavish abundance in front of me, and it will show up. Just be open to ordinary things. We're looking for extraordinary in an ordinary world, and that's not where stability lies. It's slow, it's boring, it's that kind of stuff. Be okay with that. It's going to grow legs, and it's going to spare you a lot of anxiety. And you're going to notice, too, that these triggers disappear. You're dealing with them. They're under control. Doesn't mean that they're not going to show up from here and then, but now you're going to say, hello, old friend. And you're going to let it kick the door in the ass. And that's what it's going to be. That's what life is. We get over things. We don't dissipate them. We're still who we are. We just deal with ourselves in a better way. Okay, I hope I helped you guys. Okay, thank you so much.